Hello and welcome to Real Auto Reviews. My name is Shiraz, and today, as you can see, I've got the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650 for you. And let me just tell you, if you're watching this for the first time, I unlike others, I do not read brochures. I would give you the actual review of the motorcycle, and in the process I'll try to correct the information which everyone from the old vultures to the newbies who are still wearing Huggies and Pampers under their riding pants and are masquerading as reviewers, and everyone in between, they have given a lot of incorrect information. So I'll try to correct that information, and of course I'll also tell you a couple of things that most have missed, especially in their comparison reviews with the Interceptor 650. For example, did anyone tell you that the Interceptor 650 and the GT 650 have steel braided brake lines and this one does not have them? Again, it does not make much of a difference. In fact, let me tell you right away that the braking is fantastic. In fact, the braking is even better than the Interceptors and the GTs as well. Of course, you get a much bigger rotor than you would see. Forget in the segment, even on bigger cruisers. This is a rare sight. In fact, the last that I saw, so way back in 2014 when I first when I reviewed rather the Indian Chief, that motorcycle had, and that cost 35-40 lakh rupees in India, and so that motorcycle had a 300 rotor, twin piston caliper. This one also has a twin piston caliper, and the only drawback is it becomes a bit difficult to check the air pressure or fill in the air pressure. But then that's a small price to pay for more stopping power. And so you do not see such big rotors generally, and of course you would have a small rotor and a single pot caliper, and the front one I think is is the same as on the other two 650s. It's a 320 and again a twin pot caliper. That is all the brochure reading that I could do. All right, and so I think, oh yes, the most important thing, I have watched a lot of reviews and no one has mentioned it. See, on the Interceptor 650 and the GT 650, those bikes have a full cradle. On this motorcycle, RE has used the engine as a fully stressed member. Alright, now for those of you who do not know, let me quickly tell you what are the advantages and why manufacturers use the engine as a stress member. The first reason is, of course, added rigidity. The bike becomes, the chassis becomes, a lot more rigid. The whole bike feels more cohesive, like it's one unit rather than there is a lump on top of the chassis. And this allows them to place the engine in a better manner for better center of gravity, better mass centralization. And what does that do? That in simple terms, that makes the bike more balanced. Or you can say that the balance of the bike is becomes better, and that is helpful everywhere. For example, picking up the bike from the side stand, that's relatively easier. Pulling the bike is again comparatively easier, and managing the bike in slow moving traffic, even under high speed braking. This bike fares better. The balance is better as compared to a motorcycle that does not use the engine as a stress member. Of course, the cornering is improved. So there are these are all the benefits. The only slight drawback, I think I should is that of course there are slight vibrations. In fact, let me tell you those. Let me tell you about that right away as well. The bike has minute vibrations. That basically means that they would at no speed do they become a bother. All right, so you can cruise on it. You can maintain 130, 140 all day, not an issue at all. Let's ride and talk about the bike more. All right. So what should we talk about first? Let's talk about the ergonomics. See, this is a fairly comfortable motorcycle. So this is this handlebar. This, even for a short rider like me, I'm 5'1". Okay, it's an easy reach. I'm not, slouching forward. So yeah, it's a comfortable reach. And Royal Enfield tells me that they'll be selling the GMA handlebar. That should be, that would be a taller bar, I believe. Okay, so yeah, so if this bar is like this, you will be sitting like this on with that bar in place. Even right now, the ergonomics are absolutely spot on. But then I think that anyone who's 5'5", 5'6" and above would be even more comfortable. They would be sitting more upright. But then yeah, you even if you are 5 foot tall, you can ride this motorcycle, you can tour on this motorcycle. Talking about touring, this top end variant comes with the touring seat, which is very comfortable. And the lower variants, they do not get that seat. I think they get they get those split seats, which do not appear very comfortable to me. But then I'll reserve any judgment until I've ridden it. But then yeah, over a period of time, you can look at a seat and just tell whether that would be comfortable or not. But then again, you never know that you might be in for a surprise. But then yes, this is decidedly comfortable. And let's talk about the performance. See, something again that no one will tell you is that everyone would tell you that, oh, this is the same engine, this has the same power and torque outputs. That's great. But then the primary reduction is absolutely the same as it's on the Interceptor and the GT650. Even the gear ratios are absolutely the same, no changes over there. However, the secondary reduction, there is a slight change to accommodate the change in the rear wheel size. Now, but then what does that mean to you? That basically means that this bike's red line, okay, is absolutely the same, no changes over there. So the maximum speeds in each gear remain the same. The tractability, that means the lowest speeds in each gear without lugging the engine, they remain the same. I've made a separate video on that. And so is the performance. So yes, if you have ridden any of those motorcycles, the Interceptor and the 650, this is absolutely the same in terms of performance. Of course, the top speed just is a bit shy of 165, but then, and even those bikes, they do stock bikes, they do 168, 169, and I could manage a top speed of 163 on this one. So yeah, pretty much the same. The best part is, unlike those motorcycles, this does not wobble at 140, 150, even at 160. This has no wobbling issues whatsoever. That said, because you're sitting like this, okay, the wind is hitting your legs, knees, and despite the this windshield, and I've said that in my cruising speeds video, the comfortable cruising speed is 130, 140. Anything over that just does not feel very confidence inspiring, to use that cliche. But then again, at the cost of repetition, this does not wobble, jiggle like the other two bikes post 140. The ride quality, those bikes have decidedly better ride quality. And I don't know why. Okay, see, the logical argument is that because the ground clearance is low, that is why Royal Enfield, they chose a harder spring setup, especially at the rear. Now my point is, in fact, I have also made a ground clearance video. Okay, I asked a friend who weighs 87 kgs to sit pillion, and I tried all the preload settings on the worst speed breaker that I could find. It was okay. So here's the deal: if you are callous about it, with an 87-90 kilo person, as pillion, my weight is 60 kgs, so 150 kgs, 147, 148 kilos. With that kind of weight, if you are if you are using momentum, a bit more momentum than necessary, it will touch the worst speed breaker. Okay, those ugly ones. However, if you are a bit gentle, you can avoid that scraping. Solo riding, I would stick my neck out and say that this would tackle the worst speed breakers as well. So not an issue over there. But then you just have to be, come on, and this is where I'm not boasting, but then yes, if you've ridden cruisers, all sorts of cruisers, you would realize that you have to slow down over bad speed humps. In fact, even if you're riding a sport bike, you would do that. I mean, the only so you would only standards and adventure motorcycles, those are the motorcycles that would perhaps dismiss all the road irregularities. Speaking of which, the ride quality is okay. It's not harsh by any stretch of imagination. It see, on roads like this one, on roads like these, I would say that you would find the ride quality to be absolutely acceptable. Even you would say that what, I have no issues whatsoever with the ride quality. But when you encounter a rough patch, you will have to slow down, because it will throw you off if you try to take a bad patch at a fair clip. So what else? See, the plus side is that the handling is quite nice, and you would of course not ride a cruiser like a sport bike, but then for a cruiser the handling is actually very, very good. You would actually enjoy this bike in the twisties. I mean, of course, you would not be taking hairpins like you would on a sport bike, but then yeah, in the twisties this would be an enjoyable motorcycle. And don't listen to people who tell you that it would not be as fun as the Interceptor or the GT. I think this would be more fun than the GT or the Interceptor, because the suspension is stiffer than it is on both those motorcycles. And those bikes, they have a tendency in corners to just bounce a lot. This, of course, I'm talking about I'm talking about perfect surfaces. Even on perfect surfaces, with slight undulations, such as this road, I think this no, I would not say that I think. I am 110% sure that this is a more enjoyable motorcycle than the Interceptor and the GT. Okay. Again, at the cost of repetition, this Royal Enfield's usage of the engine as a stressed member works in its favor, and the stiff suspension that also helps. I must also mention that Royal Enfield, they recommend an obnoxious air pressure of 41 psi for the front tire, 36 for the rear, and 41 for the rear as well if you're riding with a pillion. Right now it's 41 36 psi, and I'll tell you what, it makes the ride quality a bit too stiff for anyone's liking, to be honest. I would recommend 36 psi at the front and 36 psi at the rear. I've done that. That was my fault. I'll talk about the false neutrals as well. So yeah, 36 front, 36 rear, that would make the ride quality a lot better. And I was talking about false neutrals. See, false neutrals, no matter what people tell you, it has nothing to do with your drive chain maintenance, okay? It has absolutely nothing. It is always a rider error, okay? You're not shifting with a decisive foot action. You will encounter false neutral on almost every motorcycle. And so yeah, I think that sums it all. It's a brilliant motorcycle. I so wish that, you know, and I think somewhere down the line someone would try to fit you know, the Interceptor GT's rear shock absorbers on this one, and you know, see how it goes. I think it would improve the ride quality a lot. And but I'll tell you what, even right now I can live with this. I can absolutely live with this. Why? Because I absolutely love the handling on this one. I do not like GT's handling. And you know, come on, ideally the GT should have handled a lot better, but it doesn't. They are not bad handling motorcycles. Okay, you know what, the GT, for what it is, it does not do justice to its name as far as handling is concerned, okay? The Interceptor, yeah, for the kind of bike it is, you know, I would say that that bike's handling is acceptable. This could have, you know, wallowed and hopped and skipped and whatnot, but then this motorcycle is a, you know, I would say a decent handler. Decent would be a diplomatic term. This is a fine handler, especially for the kind of motorcycle it is. This is a very nice handling motorcycle. So yes, that was my review of the Super Meteor 650. Please let me know if you liked it and if you have any questions, and I'll see you soon I'll see you soon in the next video. I didn't have lunch. I have to return this bike today. So yeah, I'm saving time. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Yay, I nailed it this time. See you. Bye bye.